Good morning. Hello and welcome. I'm Tim and this is SV Paquita. And we are en route to Palermo. It is Monday the 15th and Tuesday the 16th is a special day. Oh yes, your old pal Tim is turning another year older. And because I'm always kind of like a 12-year-old, it's my birthday. We need to celebrate. So, we're headed there. We're going to be at a marina, so we'll be totally safe. Going to be meeting up with the Irish lads. And any of you Tim Be at Sea fans might remember Captain Foley, the every tugboatman's favorite pilot. He's a maritime pilot, so in other words, if we don't have 12 trips in and out of places, he comes and helps us through with all that. Anyway, Mark's been one of my best friends for ages, and he came to visit us when we were in Gibraltar, and now he's coming to visit us over here and to celebrate our birthday. And you too can celebrate my birthday as well. Well, if you'd like to. I'm having a little trouble. I'm trying to get out of my, I'm walking out of my comfort zone by saying this way, so bear with me. I sound like a used car salesman. So, if you would like to partake and celebrate my 59th birthday, barring that you're not in Palermo, because if you are, come join us. We're going to have a great time. But if you'd like to hang out with, party with us, I haven't talked to the boys, but I know those Irish lads, and they're going to say they're all in, and Mark is all in. He's an older Irish lad. Anyway, so I was thinking it would be kind of fun if any of you want to hoist one up tomorrow on our birthday with us. Today, because we're 6 hours ahead of you, today, from now until tomorrow night, so like if we go out drinking at, say, 6 o'clock at night, it's going to be noon for you tomorrow. So between now and, say, noon tomorrow, any of you guys that hit the super thanks button, we will be sure to make a video and raise one up to you, showing you all that. So if one of you do that, we'll have one drink. If 100 of you do that, it's going to be really hard to do, but I got a secret weapon. The Irish are professional drinkers. So anyway, if you would like to raise one up, by all means do so. And if you would like to contribute, hit the super thanks button. I'm trying to talk to you and I'm listening to Chrysalida. I'm like, what the hell is she saying? She's talking to her birds in the morning. Anyway, that would be great. So if you want to do that, no pressure. If you don't, totally fine, but it might be really fun. And incidentally, any of you that are watching this, if this is something that you think is fun or interesting, let me know. If I get enough comments, and you guys are interested, we'll do a live feed of us doing our celebration. So maybe we'll put the camera on the table while we're heaving them up, and you guys can listen to the horrible, wretched conversation that we have. But anyway, let me know in the comments. Other than that, it's a beautiful morning. I told myself I was going to get up at 5 and go, and I usually get up at 5 because my back is hurting and all that. You know, I don't know what happens. Is it a retirement thing, or is it just a 59-year-old thing? But I always used to be able to sleep forever. Then for a long time, I thought I had a problem with my prostate, and because I was getting up all the time to pee. And then it turns out I had sleep apnea, and the sleep apnea was waking me up. And when I'd wake up and say, "Oh, I must have to pee," and so as soon as I used the sleep apnea machine, I never have to pee again. My prostate numbers have always been good, so that's good. But damn, if my back isn't got all messed up. And it's kind of weird because on the tugboat I used to do all kinds of push-ups every day, and I always thought that would keep my back good, and it really helped me at my lower, my core when I was sitting in the seat all the time. But then when I got messed up at the end of my job, and I went to the chiropractor for a million times there in Fort Lauderdale, he was saying that, yeah, your chest gets big, but if everything's out of alignment, everything gets big, and I don't know. Anyway, So my back is all messed up. So usually I wake up at around 5 anymore. I can't take it. It's funny, I go to bed and I feel fine. I wake up in the morning feeling all awful until I stand up, and then I stand up and then it doesn't hurt anymore. But I don't know. I don't know if that's a thing. Is that something that you guys are familiar with, or is that something that I'm dying? I might not see 60. I don't know. I do have another question for you, and I always regret it when I ask these questions because then I get a million answers and they're all over the board. If I say, hey, should I turn right or left? 100 of you will say turn right, 100 of you will say turn left. So, anyway, so here's the thing. Any of you that are familiar with mechanical diesels, when I say mechanical diesels, I'm not talking about the tier 3 and tier 4 computer controlled diesels. There's nothing electrical on my engine other than the starting circuit and the oil and temperature sensors. Everything else, it's complete, and there's a shut-off solenoid as well. But yeah, my engine will run without any power on it at all. It's an old mechanical engine. It's great. Anyway, my question to you guys is, and this is something I've been following. You know, I was talking about the Island Packet Owners Association on the Facebook group. I read a lot of the comments in there just because I don't always comment, but I read a lot of them to try to get other people's information so that if and when I have a problem, just looking over here, got a couple fishing boats up here. I might have to steer around, but if and when I have a problem, I'll say, oh yeah, I remember reading about this in the Owners Association website. So one thing I'm wondering about, and any of you diesel guys, I'd love to hear you weigh in on this. I have a 4JH3-TE. I think that's the engine I have. It's 75 horse Yanmar turbo. Anyway, wide open throttle, supposed to be 3,800, and I've just found out through the Island Packet Owners Association that they recommend that you run this engine at 80%, which would be around 26 to 28, or 28 to 100 to 3,000 RPM. Now I have an auto prop on this, which is a feathering prop, and it turns as your RPM turn. In other words, when you're going slow, it bites in more. When you're going faster, it bites. You know, it's constantly changing. Anyway, I'd always wondered if it was over-propped or under-propped. Well, I've always been afraid to hook this thing all the way up, just because I'm scared that I'm going to throw a rod out through the side of it, something like that. We don't know how many hours are on the engine. I've got like 3,500 on the meter, and the previous owner said, I don't know, we had to change the meter, so there could be something like 2,500 on top of that. So maybe there's like 5,000 on top of that. I don't know. All I know is the engine's great. I do an oil sample every time I change the oil. The numbers come in good. I love it, but I want to protect it. So this is my question. In the last 4 years, never run this thing, you know, I mean, I might give it a shot in reverse or something like that, but I never cruise at more than 2,200 RPM. And the vast majority of my cruising is about 1,500 RPM. And coming across the Atlantic, we did a lot at about 1,100 or 1,000 RPM. And now in the Med, where you have to motor a lot and fuel is a little bit more than $8 a gallon over here, I have been running around 1,500 and been you know, sometimes 1,000, 1,500, sometimes 1,800. Anyway, this morning I said, wow, let's see what wide open throttle is on this thing. So I slowly, you know, I didn't just bring it up. I ran it for a few minutes and a little bit more and a little bit more and a little bit more and a little bit more. Yeah, it's 3,800. 3,600, 3,800, no, 3,600. 3,600 is wide open throttle on this thing, and it was doing that at speed. We were going. Oh, didn't get on plane, but anyway, but I am not used to that. I've never heard, you know, that it sounds like the engine's coming apart. I mean, it doesn't sound bad. I'm just saying that I'm used to the engine just purring along at half of that. So my question is, if Yanmar says that you should run it at 80% load, and I know a lot of you guys it's easy to just say, well, you should do what the manufacturer says. The manufacturer built this engine and wrote everything to have this engine in a tractor, not in a tugboat, in a sailboat. so things are different. So I'm really looking for real diesel guys to let me know here. By running this, you know, I made a mistake years ago. I said something about running it slow. I want to have it just open enough so the wastegate opens on the turbo, and somebody absolutely, they were right. They're like, Tim, there's no wastegate on this one. That's on other ones. This one, the turbo just spins, and you know, it provides boost when it gets enough RPM. So they were absolutely right about that. So I was wrong about that. But I'm wondering, now granted, when I ran this thing for about an hour at I don't know, 2,800, 3,000 RPM. And it's funny because it can go a lot more, but I'm terrified. I feel like I'm mistreating my girl here. So, so my question is, how bad, if I don't have a carbon issue that I'm aware of anyway, because I did replace the exhaust elbow and there was no carbon in that. How bad is it for me to run at 1,500 RPM for long periods? Meaning, the reason why I run at 1,500 is because we want to extend our range. And just to give you an idea, at 1,500, I could do about 5 knots, assuming everything's flat and I'm not fighting anything. At 3,000 or at 2,800 to 3,000 RPM, I could do about 7 knots. That difference is substantial. I mean, what is that? That's about a 30%, 25-30% increase, right? In speed. But it's almost 3 times as much fuel according to the fuel graph burn. So it makes much more sense to run at a slower RPM. My question is, on a mechanical engine with a turbo that doesn't have a wastegate, am I doing anything wrong? Now, there's a million people in the Facebook, in the users group, that the owners association, that say, oh, you know, I run and I do this, and then for 10 minutes every day I run it full wide open throttle, clean the carbon out. I'm not really. Maybe I'm wrong. Tell me I'm wrong in here, but I don't really think that's necessary. I think that if it was just a free spinning, like a generator with no load on it, yeah, you might have to do that. But this thing's got a load on it all the time, and like I say, it's got a lot of hours, and it's not burning any oil, and it's running great. So, what are your thoughts running at reduced RPM? Because if I have to run this thing at 2,800, I'll go from a cruising speed of about 5 knots up to around 7 or 7.5 knots, and that's fine. But I'm gonna my range is gonna go right out the window, and it's very expensive over here. So just let me know in the comments what you think about that. And if you want to be part of the three things, let me know about what your thoughts are. If you have any thoughts on the whole, here's this fishing boat right over here. Isn't that cool? Let me know what your thoughts are on the diesel. Let me know if you want us to do a live stream while we're out celebrating my birthday. And the third thing is, hit the super thanks if you want us to include you in the video. All right, you guys take care. Thank you so much for watching. Be safe, and as always, I'll see you on the one.